Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a lovely question where it is a real life practical question. And in this question, we're going to be looking at dealing with money. And you go into a shop and there are 4 items. So you've got some apples, you've got some bread, butter, and some cereal. And you're told that the items are bought with a £10 note. The price of butter isn't given, so you can see the weight of 670 grams is £1.50, 400 grams is £0.70 or 70 pence, and 500 grams, we don't know how much that costs. 750 grams costs £1.45. You're told the person gets £3.85 change, and you've got to work out the price of the butter. Remember, this blue box here gives you the instructions as to what you've got to do. So how much does the butter cost in this gap here? You must show your working because the question is worth 2 marks. And once you've shown your working, that means write down the calculations you're doing to get an answer. And then you must write the answer in the box here. Now, your key facts, you need to remember that £1 is 100 pence. So that will help you when you're converting if you prefer to work in pence or in pounds. Personally, in this question here, because all these money values are in pounds, this is in pounds, and this one is in pounds, it's probably easier just to work in pounds. And your answer has got to be in pounds. And you're told that you've got change. Now, this word here, she gets £3.85 change. That means how much money she gets back after paying, or the person gets back after paying. So, press pause, have a go at working out the answer. How much change? And then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Fantastic. Okay, so hopefully you've had a good go at doing this question. So we're first of all going to work out how much we spent on the shopping so far without the butter because we don't know how much that one cost. So we're just going to write down the 3 numbers, the 150 or £1.50, the 70p or 0.70 and the £1.45 are the 3 items that we've bought so far for the shopping, the apples, the bread and the cereal. It doesn't matter the weight, so just ignore these values here for the weights. That is irrelevant information in the question. So we're going to add these together. So starting on the right hand side, I've got 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 7 plus 4. Now I personally did 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 7, well 10 plus 7 is 17. Take away the 1 makes you 16. So if I carry in a 1 for the 16 and the 6 comes underneath. The decimal point stays in line, so there's a decimal point in the same place. Now I've got 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So that's £3.65 spent on the 3 items. Now we know we've got some change of £3.85 from the £10 note. So if I take my £10 note and take away this £3.85, that will tell us how much the shopping cost. Now remember, when we do £10, 10 is the same as 10.00. You can put as many zeros afterwards, but because we're dealing with money, we only need 2 zeros. Starting on the right hand side to subtract, we can't do 0 take away 5, so we have to borrow from the next number. There's nothing there, so we can't borrow from here, so we have to borrow from the next one. Again, there's nothing here, so we need to borrow from the next one, which we can do now. So we're going to borrow from that 10. I'm going to cross the 1 out and make it a 0, and I'm borrowing a 10, so I'm putting a 1 up here. So now I've got a 10 take away 3 when we come to do it later on. But we don't need this 10 here because we've got to get all the way down to this bit here. So we've got to cross this 10 out and borrow 1 from the 10. So taking 1 from 10 gives me a 9. And then I'm borrowing the 10 comes in here. Again, I need to borrow from this. So I'm going to cross this 10 out, take 1 from the 10, which is 9, and I'm going to borrow a 10. So a 1 value comes in here. So now I've got 10 take away 5. 10 take away 5 we can now do, which is 5. 9 take away 8 is 1. Decimal point remains in the same place. 9 take away 3 is 6. And there's nothing at the front, so it's £6.15. So the whole shopping costs £6.15. And the 3 items that have been given up here cost £3.65. So we've got to work out how much the butter cost. So we take our £6.15 and I put my 365 underneath it because 6.15 is larger than 365, and I'm going to subtract these numbers. 5 take away 5 is 0. 1 take away 6 I can't do, so I've got to borrow from the 6, so I'm going to cross it out and put a 5 in there, and then put a 10 in here, so a 1 to make this 11. 11 take away 6 is 5. Decimal point follows down here, and 5 take away 3 is 2. So I've got £2.50, which gets written in here. So I've got £2.50 here for the amount for the butter. So if you look up here, you can see that the butter is a lot more expensive than some of the other items that you've got up here. Give yourself a big tick if you got that correct. Great work, well done. Now the question was worth 2 marks. You do need to show these other method marks in here in order to get the full 2 marks if you made a mistake. If you got the answer correct, you would get the full marks. The mark scheme on this question shows the answer is £2.50 here for up to 2m, which means up to 2 method marks. You will get 1 mark for doing evidence of doing this calculation here by adding up the amounts, taking away the £10 from here, and then subtracting your 2 answers. So getting an error in there somewhere, so 1 minor error will give you the mark if you made a mistake and didn't get the correct answer. Same here, there's another example or another example here as to where you could get a 1 mark from. If you found this video useful, please share, like or subscribe so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like or subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.